Well, good afternoon and welcome to this Thursday Thought. Over the course of a decade or more in working with the benevolent program at the church, I've become more attuned, I think, to the things people say and the possible meaning behind those things. Many of those who come to the office looking for some kind of help are in a segment of society that many of us have little familiarity of. The working poor and those who are disabled frequently visit the office asking for some kind of assistance. Some are people that I've worked with several times over the years, and I've come to know them and know more about their situations and life experiences over those years. Well, in the course of conversation with them, people have told me about family members who are abusive or have been abused in some way. They tell me about deadbeat boyfriends and adult children who won't get a job. They visit with me about someone they took into their home, maybe who was in worse shape than they, but those people have proven to be more of a burden than they could bear. They speak about maybe giving someone their last $5 or sharing their last meal rather than just keeping it for themselves and now wondering what they're going to do. I've come to believe that most of what I hear by far is either the truth or is the truth as they perceive it to be. And even if only half of what they tell me is true, I still find it incredible that some of these people can even make it through the day, let alone weeks or months at a time. I'm also finding out something else. I've had several people in the course of working with them over a long period of several years. And all of the women, by the way, tell me that in the course of some conversation that we were having, that they trust me. I trust you, they will say, stopping in the middle of some story just to say that. And then they will continue to tell about their latest run-in with a boyfriend or having to sleep out on the street, or perhaps they'll talk about a grown daughter who abandoned her children to grandma, or they speak of some other thing in their life that's working against them. Well, these are, by and large, women who have suffered some kind of abuse from a man in their life, a father or a stepdad, a boyfriend, maybe a grown son. It could be some other friend or relative. But whatever the circumstance, I have to wonder how many other men these women could say the same thing to with sincerity. I trust you. I have to wonder just how broken that trust factor is for them and how much courage it takes for them to say to me that they trust me. And I also wonder what it was or is that I have done or am doing maybe that prompts these women to make that declaration to me. Just how unusual it might be to have a man in their life who they feel like they can trust, and how many men have forfeited that relationship with them because of some abusive action. I have to wonder just how this lack of trust has scarred these women and how that scarring has affected their present circumstance. How things might be different for them if they only could have fully trusted other men who have been in their lives. And I have to wonder just how I can work to help them regain appropriate trust for other people, and especially other men. I then wonder if I should introduce them to Jesus of Nazareth, just how they could possibly trust him. Here he is, yet another man, telling them things that seem too good to be true, yet telling them to trust him implicitly, not only in this life, but in some life to come. He tells them he can give them rest from their heavy burdens. He tells them he will love them unconditionally and without reservation. He says he can be their mentor and their partner through life, and that he will never leave them or toss them aside. He says things that just seem to be utterly unfathomable to these women. Women who have been abused, used, beaten, belittled. Women who have endured so much pain and suffering at the hands of one or more of the men in her life. Why, for heaven's sake, would she want another man in her life such as this Jesus? She's heard it all before, the sky-high promises, the I love you language, the lies wrapped in half-truths. He's just another one of those who wants something from me. He doesn't really love or want me. He just wants to use me and then throw me away just like all the others. I trust you. That may well be something these women don't say very often to very many others. It may be something that is difficult for them to say even to me. But it is something that I need to have a better grip on as far as the meaning behind it and my responsibility to not damage that trust in any way. And rather suddenly then, that short statement becomes a flashing sign in the darkness telling me that I have a great responsibility not only to this woman, but to all who I encounter, to emulate as best I can the life of this Jesus, so that one day I might be able to tell them of this man who they too can trust implicitly. Someone who can love them far more, and with a perfect love that I cannot fully emulate, even as hard as I might try. Well, I'll leave this right there, and I'll encourage you to take a long look at your relationships. Can others say with sincerity that they trust you in the same sense that these women tell me? Are you trustworthy? Blessings.